What an incredible morning. I just came from Las Vegas. We had a re:Invent there, about 60,000 people. And Bernard told me, you gotta come here. And I took Saturday off, Sunday travel. And I am so glad I took the trip. I'm so glad. Although I have, in my mind, the slides that we're gonna talk about. Okay, let's see if we can go to the, okay, perfect. But listening today to the information that we got from the designated speakers and the panels gave me even more imagination how AWS can play a big role to digitization, help the telco businesses and other businesses to actually become more, increase the speed of getting digitized in a scalable, reliable, secure way. And I want to talk about this in my slides. I'm given like very, very short time, so I'll try my best to go over it. But let me tell you about the IoT. At one point back in the early 2000s, it was called the Internet of Everything, IoE. It is almost getting there. Because data becoming so important to bring value for the consumer, for the customer, for the partner, ISVs, etc. Data is becoming essential, not just to store, not to use the compute to make analytics, but it's even more. The foundation models, the learning, for generative AI, all of that things. But other than that, even bringing your ideas globally. So if you think about innovators, that they can put something, a software or some innovative idea in a cloud, can deploy it globally. That is basically enablement for technologists, for innovators, for startups to have a global business using the cloud. Let me tell you about the IoT business specifically, which I run in Amazon. So Amazon started innovating in IoT and developing in IoT back in 2015 because Amazon needed that for their stores, for warehouses, for the trucks, for all the basically data centers and all these operations that need data to monitor, to manage, and to basically make the experience from the driver to the worker to the shoppers seamless. We spoke, today we had the discussion about the drone shop, for example. And if you go to, so I live in Seattle, if you go to Amazon Go or Amazon Fresh or Wholesale, you can go and basically sign in with your palm and just take your stuff and walk out without talking to anyone. And all the camera systems, all the control system, the readers, all of them are connected to the IoT service. So back in the 2015, we needed it as a necessity. So IoT is becoming more like necessary for our business. But it grows so much that today, I am so, so glad that every day we have 280, in average, 280 million unique devices comes to our service. With about 300 billion events managed daily. That's trillions a week. So it's not about POC. IoT specifically is not about being successful in a POC to make security. It's about the scale, about how large you can take your operation. If you invent or if you develop a service of some sort of that will use IoTs, which is usually sensors, could be $10 sensors, by the way. It could be $20 camera. It's not the biggest problem. It's how to take it globally, how to scale to 1 million users, 2 million, 30, 60 million, etc. That's what the AWS cloud can give you. Secure, reliable, and global. So when we say we build purpose-built services, what it means, if you think about it, every industry and every vertical have its own language and protocol to move the data. So the industrial factories have probably 166 different protocols in the PLCs. The cars, the car bus have its own. Cameras have its own. So what we did, as I call them connectors, Because the fabric of the IoT has been built from a long time ago. Have you heard about IoT devices for the past 10 years at least? They are built, they are installed, but still not connected at value. So we've been building, and what we're going to continue to build is to make sure that the connectors can easily take the data, and for your own service or whatever business you have, and create that data lake for you, specifically for you, and you can use it for analytics, AI, etc. We're going to go through some of the examples. Only this year, by just 1 year, we have more than 37 features and services. So in Amazon, we always go back from what the customer needs, the use case. We talk to the customer, the use cases, and we go backward what to deliver. We don't deliver from basically our own imagination. We always advance what we're building, but it's based on what the customer needs and the use cases. Why this is so important? Because when you build feature or protocol or any service, it takes a lot of effort to make it scalable, secure, and reliable, because you are putting it at scale. When I tell you there's 280 million devices uniquely connecting every day, on average, sometimes more, then your service has to be rock solid, has to be able to put the 3-level of encryption, 3-level of security on every single device, even for a $10 sensor out in the field. This becoming even more important when you are using this data for your own enterprise AI. Something different about how we deal with AI is that if a customer have decided to use the platforms that we provide, like Bedrock and Code Whisperer, etc., all these AI engines that we have in platforms, whatever they build is actually built encrypted in their own account. Nobody, even my own engineers or anybody, can actually have access to those. So then your AI, ChatGPT or alike, will become clever for your own business. So let's go further. So we saw over the years how the AIT data and the AIT in general had transformed the businesses to create value out of the data that they are bringing in, from improved experience for the user, from better operational, and I can give you a few examples. For example, in factories, specifically in factories, how better management of the energy and wastage have resulted in real money, bottom line money, in some of our customers, which I shall share with you. Also, faster innovation. If you have, this is important because so I came 20 years from semiconductor industry, telecommunication, Nortel. I saw some of the old-timers on Nortel here. It used to be that teams develop silicon, for example, some in the United States, some in India, and they will have to wait for each other to upload the FTP for the net list, and the other team to change it, and so on. It takes time. NXP, STMicro, ARM, Qualcomm, my previous employer, they all got convinced to put their net list and their development file in the cloud, in AWS cloud, and then the teams can collaborate in real time in a very secure way on the AWS cloud, rather than FTP and sending it around. And that's how we can bring the positive value by saving time, bringing new services, new features, and that's how we saw the importance of the IoT is almost on a daily basis. We see an increase in connectivity value for us and for our customers. So where we develop our own service into, and you remember I told you every vertical have its own way and language and protocol because of the standard. You don't want to change the world. You don't want suddenly to have everything is MQTT5, for example. There's stuff that will never change. So we have focus on consumer. So consumer like Matter, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. All these Zigbee, Z-Wave, and all these protocols that you need in the consumer side. Appliances. We have a lot of customers who starting to put connectivity in like washer and dryers and microwaves and even like barbecues. I'm not sure exactly, but it's a value for them. They want to know the customer what they do, how many times they use it, etc. Industrial manufacturing, which is the most, I would say, valuable from bottom line point of view, because there is thousands and thousands of factories that are still operational, still profitable, and the OT, the managers of the factory, they are not convinced that actually adding technology will give them value until they see it is how easy to add these devices on the current infrastructure and start to be able to monitor how to save money. I was in Taiwan about 2 months ago, and there was a customer there who bought Outpost, and they put Sitewise, which is one of the services we have in IoT. And no one in Taiwan liked to change things quickly because they're very traditional manufacturer, and they're very, very hard to change their process. However, adding on was very simple. The founder, I met with him, he said, in 6 months I saved, don't laugh at the number, but it's a big deal for manufacturing, $30,000 on electricity. But just one service, one factory, they tried 30,000. Imagine if this is at scale, how much money is going to be saved. Connected vehicle, that is absolutely becoming no-brainer right now. Every vehicle right now, manufacturer is thinking how to do software-defined vehicle. Connect to the engine, connect to the batteries, connect to the tires, tire SKU. There is a lot of growth into how to give the experience for the driver much better. So if let's say I have a car, and the car understands my habits, and then I go rent a car, I log in to that car, and it brings me all my environment to the second car, and so on. Public sector, of course, smart cities, we are very active into, which smart city is like, if you talk to 10 people on different geography, they will give you 10 different definitions. The idea is smart city is whatever the city prioritizes for them as a priority. Is it pollution? Is it traffic? Is it crowd control, etc.? And it starts from there. Because the technology is available, the devices are available. But putting it together as a solution, we have 100,000 partners that specialized in these verticals like healthcare, traffic control, etc., that can put these solutions together on AWS. And of course, the smart building, you know Kone. Kone is one of the escalator and elevator companies. So Kone put a whole metro station as digital twin on AWS. We have something called Twin Maker, which is not just making a 3D representation of a facility, but rather connects to all the data points in the factory, whether it's cameras, sensors, etc., and digitize all of that as a digital twin that can be managed and monitored from other places. I just want to share with you some of those customers. Of course, every Vizio TV in the world have connection to the IoT service. John Deere, they did a digital twin for their factory, so they actually virtually can get the operator problem fixed remotely without actually having to wait the line, because once you put the line down, it's money lost, and so on. CCI is the largest Coca-Cola bottling factory in the world in Turkey, and they have been customer for IoT site-wise. They saved 20% on wastage and resources last year by just monitoring the data and making sense out of it. Of course, other Toyota, LG, and so on. So to build a solution of IoT is not just having a camera that's connected. It's not the connection. It's a whole connectivity, edge, device security, device management, etc. And for these, remember when I said the purpose-built services, for each of these items, we actually build a specific service that the customer can utilize. Open source, API, you can call it into your solution. It's not the complex that you have to build it from bottom up. Because our goal always to make it as simple as possible for partner to put actually a solution for the customer. Now, touching on the crowd that we are in here, connectivity, we all know, is becoming commodity. We talk to a lot of telco customers, and everyone was trying to find value in the investment that they've done. Every connectivity, every telco, they've invested very, very big money in 4G, 5G, etc. And now that we're hearing 6G as well. coming from Nortel, coming from Qualcomm, I do understand that expense and how you can make money out of it. So the best way that we have been over the years, that our telco customers and our partners have always thought about, you have to move up the stack. You need to move up the stack. The connection, the pipe that you are giving to the customer, whether it's enterprise or home, is just going to sit there, and you're going to be billing them the minimum value that they are expecting, and maybe expecting some more discounts. The more you build capability to go up the stack, the more value you can, because you already have the channel. Remember the train tracks they used back in the 40s and 50s to put the phone lines. And that was a method to utilize more value out of the train track. So that's the idea. And I have an example today. I'm very proud of it, actually. And we have one of the customers here where I'm so proud that how we're doing this work with TELUS. TELUS is not specifically only for TELUS, because what we are building is actually utilized, and it can be used by other telcos more than you can imagine, because what we are building is a service that make the setup for the smart home, specifically on smart home, as seamless as possible, almost frustration-free. So basically, we're building a framework where TELUS said, I will leave the heavy lifting of security authentication, storage, compute, image like KVS is Kinesis Video, which is image streaming. I'll leave it to AWS because it's a cloud. Anywhere in the world I can go. And I will focus on my business with my consumer, UI, the skin, what type of service, and I give them the value. Then all the hardware manufacturers around the world can, if they can call this service, remember, all these hardware, they do driver anyway. They develop a driver. But adding to the driver a call of API for the service, then they become compliant to become one of the devices at home. Remember, at home, some of us have 60 connected devices, some 100. And if you look at the experience right now, you will have like 6 different apps on your phone to actually manage all of these. So the idea is you, as a telco, you have already that channel, give them the value, make it easy so they actually go to you. And that's what we are building with TELUS. And basically, they focus on their upside, which was a smart home, smart security, and smart health. Because healthcare is coming very soon to become a connected, scaled service that must, all of these little things in the room, which is like sensors, cameras, all these devices are actually IoT. But now you connect them to the cloud and make value out of them. Then we don't want to forget this. I mean, AI specifically is a subject of data availability. What type of data, the quality of data? I think Andrew was saying it's not just the silver bullet or the magic pill. You have AI, now you're on top of your game. It is as good as the quality of data you're collecting, as good as how much data you're collecting. And we saw it. I'll just take Amazon.com as example. If you look at searching product in Amazon.com, for example, the AI engine has been built for 25 years. It's nothing new. Now this tool is becoming available to everybody to use. We saw it internally that it boosts the employees because you have quicker way of helping each other and helping your customer. It enhances the customer experience when the customer is frustrated about something and they can easily get the answer, easily get routed to the right person because of the tools of the AI. Then it becomes better experience. And also to optimize the business so you don't waste money on things that doesn't actually give you value. In the telco industry, we know that the customer every customer will have their own experience and journey, what they're using, how they're using. And if that data start to get collected, it will give you idea of what exactly is important for each customer. They definitely want to have one single place to deal with their, let's say home like the smart home applications. It's really, really hard for even the most techie of us to go on our phone and multiple applications and start to power on and off things. So they want to look at one place. And also the ability for leaders to quickly, like for business leaders, to quickly understand what works, what doesn't, and how to enhance the better ones. So yeah, the AI will drive the experience. We know that it's the more that it learns about how the user is dealing with the technology, how they are using it, what menu item they are pushing, what's more app they are using. As this becomes more input in your own data, then you can enhance based on that the reply to the customer or what you can forward to them. When we build this data lakes for the customer, as remember, I told you that it is actually secured for them and nobody can actually use them. So I have example here, and I think Andrew left, but his Netcracker is over here as well. But those customers are just in the beginning, at the beginning of the list of what applications they're using with the generative AI, like billing, customer support, suggestive application. So these are some of the customers that we have from the telco, and of course the list is much bigger, but I thought to fit one in at least one slide to share with you. So to get started, I know there's a lot of customers already talking to us here in this region. Bernard is in touch with a lot of them. We have many solution architects, many partners that's already working with many of the telcos as well as other providers like service providers to actually build those solutions. And hopefully you will see that the ability to scale with AWS Cloud will give you that energy to innovate and bring more value to your customer yourself. Thank you very much. And we'll speak later, hopefully in the evening as well. Thank you.